Welcome to today's conversation. I am Khushi Sharma from Faculty of Journalism and Mass Communication, Usha Martin University. We have with us Ushinor Majumdar, acclaimed investigative journalist and author of 2 best-selling books. It's a pleasure to hear, sir.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here.
You have worked as an investigative journalist. What has been one of the toughest cases to cover?
I think probably it was the toughest to crack my books, researching for my books. But the toughest are actually the ground stories. For example, I covered the 2013 Uttarakhand floods, and then the 2015 Nepal earthquake. So those on-ground stories were very difficult to crack sometimes because traveling through disasters can be tough. It's physically taxing. You have to be careful for your safety, for security, and you also have to make it out alive and can't take any risks, but you have to get to the story. So I think those were the slightly more challenging stories. There is, of course, covering conflicts can be little difficult, not just in terms of being in the conflict situation, but also trying to understand what people are saying. I think that's a more challenging thing in any story.
How did you handle it?
One way to handle it was definitely patience. I had to be patient, and also I try not to believe anything that people tell me unless I've verified it myself. If I even read something somewhere saying that XYZ happened at so and so place, I would prefer to go there and see for myself before I believe it. So I guess I think one of the big things that helped me is keeping in mind ways of how to verify information and not to either accept nor to tell people things without having enough proof. And I usually try and put out the proof, like, okay, I am saying this because this is what I found. Then it's up to people to take it or to leave it. I think for the disaster journalism, it was very important I had no training, and I recently wrote a chapter for a book which is supposed to come out, which is for journalism practitioners and teachers, where we're actually talking about many things of how journalists can stay alive in such circumstances. Okay? If there's a flood, any natural disaster, usually people run away. And there's 3 kinds of people who are running there, which is firefighters, paramedics, and journalists who are running towards danger. Right? So, how to get the story without becoming the story is probably what's got me through it.
You have authored 2 books. What inspired you to write this book?
The first one, God of Sin, is an investigation into all of Asaram's empire, right? So we all know that it began off, it came into public with allegations of sexual assault, later proved true, for which he was convicted and sentenced. Now, the one thing that nobody wanted to talk about, because I was working for a magazine at that time, the one thing that nobody wanted to give time to was to look into his entire, empire of this person, the financial empire, what he stands for, how much of property does he have, how much is such a controversial godman worth. So I wanted to actually put a figure to that, and that's how I got there. Yeah? I decided to write the book when a publisher approached me. The second one was, again, it's become, now what I've written has become mainstream, but till I wrote it, it wasn't mainstream. Everybody spoke about the Indian Army's role, everybody spoke about the diplomats' role, Indian diplomats' role, but nobody spoke about India's secret role for 9 months leading to the Bangladesh Liberation War. And the agency which was the most active was the BSF, and then there's also the RAW, which I briefly mentioned, the RNAW, And I felt that these things were not reported well enough or not reported at all. And I said, okay, then I must write a book. And thankfully now that narrative or that story has become mainstream. Everyone talks about it.
What is your advice of younger journalists on investigative story?
I would say that don't believe what people tell you. I mean, don't accept what people tell you. Verify it for yourself. And that journey of verification is half of where investigative journalism is. Don't just look at press releases and accept that this is absolutely truth. It could be, but verify it, find out. That's the one thing.
That's a great advice. What's next for you? Are you working in new book or anything else?
I'm always writing a new book. I just don't know when it's going to get done. There's a number of other things that I am doing, which is mostly some stuff that I'm writing for the screen. There's some documentary ideas that I'm researching for, and there's also some non-fiction things that I'm also working on all for the screen. So yeah, there is a book, and I hope to finish it next year sometime. I was maybe late this year. Should be out next year. So yeah, there's always something or the other.
What's your take challenges in era of AI news?
Okay. So AI generated news it's been on the way here for some time, and it was coming because see, robotics and then machine learning followed by artificial intelligence has developed, and it's taken over most of our lives. Okay, and I don't look at it as a bad thing. I'm talking about artificial intelligence in general. One has to just know one by one, I mean like one and many, like everyone should know how to use it in their lives and to what extent you will use it. Sometimes I use it like a secretary getting some tasks sorted. Okay, at different times, at different things. I've never used it for writing till date. Because I think like for me, it's probably unethical personally for me to use it as a tool to do my writing. Okay. But there's different uses. As I said, I've put AI to. There's many news. I think the other day I read about the first ever newspaper edition, which was published entirely by using AI. Okay. The thing is that AI cannot report. AI can get you information that already exists. Okay. So you cannot do away with the reporter. So even if AI is writing it, it's just a way of putting together the information that has been there. Now, there is a slight danger in there because you don't know how that AI can be used to present information in a certain way, right? So you do need human intervention at some level, right? Even if AI is written it, later you should go through it. So you would need somebody to do that. There may be a stage when you may not need to do it also, years from now. But information gathering, that cannot be left to AI. You need a human being to do that. You cannot also hand over selection of news to artificial intelligence, because as a human being or as a group of human beings, we should decide, like an editorial board should decide that what are the stories that should go, that should be broadcast today or that should be published in a newspaper today. Okay. Otherwise, I see there's nothing wrong in AI, but the risks are great of directly only using artificial intelligence to run your newsroom. I think that's problematic. The bigger problem is, of course, things like deep fakes, okay, or using artificial to create half-truths or mistruths that look like news. That is the biggest challenge today. And you have good fact-checking websites, but perhaps the requirement for those will increase now.
Thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful conversation.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being here.
Thank you, sir.